Alright, so hello everyone. What I'm basically going to do today, as the title suggests, is I'm going to play my own created games, so for the intro I guess I can say, well, don't expect any funky editing, be aware this is a stream. Um, for those of who are watching right now, let just enjoy, I guess. Yeah, well, I guess I'm also going to explain what the type of game it is and what I try to achieve with it, and I'm going to get into it very shortly. Just 1 second, really quick. Yeah, alright, so basically, if you see all of these doors, like you see this street, there's all of these doors and they're going to take you to a different place, so I'm going to explore every one of them. I'm going to explain something about them as well, while I was creating it and so and such, and I hope it's going to be somewhat fun. So yeah, this is the first map, first door that I connected it to something. You can basically see those are, washing machines. You can't go there, so you go in here, find the vent, go down the vent. No, it's like very mysterious, like the whole concept is that there's something that you're not aware, and there you go, surprise you, so you have just penetrated a hidden facility. Who the hell knows what have jets there, either way it's like they're very powerful, how could they not be? Now you can go down there, but if you come here you treat yourself to a quick surprise, and you can see a rocket there. This is the same thing that you're going to see if you come up down to the first story, I guess, to the first floor. So I don't know why I titled the way that I did title it. So there's this robot, I guess robot P, I don't know what that means, out of order. um, have made it such a long time ago, I don't even remember much about it. So you can see, like, there's this one blue barrel, there's these rockets, missiles rather, and you go in here, and it's basically pretty cool. If you like these type of mystery games, wonder what's all this about. It's very good for that. Okay, so I guess we're going to continue. No, like this is one of my favorites, I'll be honest. Okay, and this is like, I don't remember when I made this, like sometime later. It's not directly the next door, like the domain that I made, but it's one of the most boring ones, I'll be honest. There's basically nothing there. You see what you get, you get what you see. Yeah, you obviously can't escape, I'm guessing. Yeah, I secured it pretty well. There's nothing really to talk about in regards to this. Also, I guess, so we went there. I guess we are going to go here, and yeah, this car as well. It's driving the opposite way, but alright. So these are, like, I think this is one of the last ones I made, and I think it's like this bunker. Like, if you go outside, just 1 second, you go outside here. So what you basically see is just snow, and this game is covered in snow. And you say, well, where I am, where am I? And if you go, let's say, down here, you come into this room, you like see this radio station with some, audio issue, audio delay or something like that. You come here, you see, like, like this map, this, let's say Arctic or, South Pole, North Pole situation that you're in. It explains the outside view, and here's a storage, something like that. No, it was quite a pleasure to make this. It was not that hard. It's one of the smaller maps too. There are some big ones that I'm going to get into as well. So you got these trees growing here. So here you can eat lunch. Here are the water dispensers, something like that. And you finally go down here. It's not really nothing here. It's mostly storage. Some, how would you refer to it? Subsystem, there. But You know that this is basically all. And you come here, it's like there's nothing here, you know, just snow. Alright, so um I really forgot where we weren't. Okay, so this is for the, you know, I would call this my magnum opus. You know, it's such a beautiful map, I still can't get over it. You know, it's so mysterious, right? You know, it's like so big, you know, you wonder about everything. Like, you know, I think there's so much I can't even explain everything properly, you know, but it's made to, you know, provoke some sort of feeling rather than understanding. Uh, you know, if you come here, you can see like this rocket, like this prototype, or you know, this discarded part of a rocket. You know, in this warehouse, you see all of these big, big, you know, pickup truck. You know, whatever you would like to call it. You know, to transport it. Obviously, you see all these jets here. You see all of these transporting you know, whatever it might be it like these stones, these barrels. You can also see the fueling stations there. You can see the rocket shooters, you know, like the rocket systems there. It's like very interesting. You know, I'm going to go briefly up and look at the rocket because it's like the main piece here. You know, I'm really proud of this. You know, as I said, it's like provokes such a feeling. You know, I hope it does for others as well. You know, as I said, I think this is the biggest map. You know, it's, you know, there's still some interesting things, you know, by no means boring that are there. Yeah, you can't go there, you know, I also protected it. I just wanted to check really quickly. Well, you can't go inside of the rocket. Well, it's a shame, you know, but it would be too much, I would say. So I guess it would be faster if I was just to reset my character. And but here, yeah. So there were the rockets, and you know, you go here. Like here's this, like, you know, airport. I guess, you know, like the running track where planes pick up and fly and land down. You know, here as well. You know, you get some things here. You know, it's basically, you know, if it's raining or something, you can go and put your cars inside of here. Yeah, you know, so it doesn't elaborate like on much. Okay, I guess we're going to get into the next one. Alright, so this, yeah, this was that. I guess we have explored this row. Okay, let's get in here. And this is, I think, the second one I ever made. You know, it's like very fun. I guess, you know, it's called like some fun park or something like that. You know, it's not that big, but you know, I like the balloons because, you know, they invoke such a, you know, majestic feeling, like you're in a fantasy land. You know, almost like a nightmare. You know, you wonder, what, you know, what is this go around? You know, what is this? You know, then you notice this arm in here. You know, like, is that blood or something? Yeah, it's, well, mysterious either way. But yeah, well, you know, there's nothing much here. I guess you can sit or can't. I don't know. I guess I forgot to insert seats into that, but no, it is how it is. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is also a pretty cool map, I would say. Yeah, you know, can you sit? No, you can't, I guess, but like, this is called some garden, right? You got these walls all around, you know. You got all these little, like, secrets you can investigate. So you got like this stone bus station, bus stop rather. You got these trees, you got these stops and shit. Like, you think, well, you know, why are they even there? You know, it's like mysterious and everything. You know, I'm quite proud of this, to be honest. You know, it might look all the same, but you know, there's this maze and it connects to all other, you know, places. You know, I've trying to find the locations of something interesting. You know, it's not like I can remember it very well. Yes, so Ruby Hortus, if I'm not wrong, it translates to red, red bush. I guess, you know, so because like this is the red bush gardens, you know. Okay, you know, I'm not going to explore everything, you know. Like I think you get the gist. I think you get the idea. I think you understand. Like this is just this mysterious garden with these mysterious everything. So just there's like this temple, everything. But just remember this is the first of my games. So yeah, we were there, we were here. Yeah, and this is I would call this like probably the worst map. Like what you see is what you get. Like this is all the same. Like you're going to go through rooms and it's going to be the same room over and over and over again. Also, there's like not really much point in exploring. Like I don't even remember if there's anything worthwhile looking at here. So either way, we're just going to reset. You get the idea. Okay, so we were there, we were here. Guess this is the last. Yeah, and this is one of the cooler ones. So you get the ship Julia. You say, well, what the hell, I'm on an island here. Like, what am I doing on an island? You see this bunker here, you got this guy here. It's, I guess, me explaining everything would defeat the point, It's like, it's not exactly about explaining everything, it's about, feeling it, So you got all these little things, these monsters here, like this bunker with the cans. Go down, okay, and I got the badge. Like, I didn't expect that many people. I guess, I rather wanted to see how many people found this place. You go into this house, but this is not even the biggest, how would you say, mysteries here. Yeah, so you go down this here, and well, voila, well, where are you? Well, you're in this huge, storage, or basement, or what is this, like some facility where you see all these jets and everything. Yeah, so library, go down, so it's like revealing, like you thought it was an island, then you go down into the bunker, then you go down deeper into the house, then you go outside of the house, and then you go even deeper in this facility. So it was the theme of these sailor beds here, some sort of military base, So here, just a regular office, some sort of system, here something else I don't even know. Okay, I guess explored everything here. There's more to be said about it. Perhaps it's worth making a second chapter to it. Yeah, right. So obviously it was unexplainably difficult to create everything what you've seen here, because well it took a hell of a long time. Okay, I'm going to switch the game now. One moment. I guess there's some little more to see. Yeah, well, alright. Yeah, well, I'm just joining the game real quickly. Alright, so this is the next game. Basically, if you saw the title was find the red cube. So the point of the game is to find the red cube. There's nothing really that mysterious here. Just a simple premise. It's fun. So you find the red cube. I guess if you want to play this on your own, then you're welcome to. Because I don't want to reveal like every location. But it's fun to find. It's like the first game of a trilogy. So I made 20 maps in every game, so together if you play all the 3 games you get 60 maps, and this is just the simplest, like this is one of my most earliest games which is available to play. Yeah, so nothing that complicated here, it's like amounts of very simple basic graphics, it's very different from the lactose intolerance experience which I showed to you. So what I did was like make a lot of like spaces where like you can just simply explore, not that there's necessarily the red cube for you to find. So there's here like this outside area. You might say it's not that interesting, but at the time at which I was making it was like 5 years ago. It was like not that little, I guess. No. No, it's like you get the same thing. You get the stairs. You don't get any other doors or anything like that. But you know, at the end of the day, you find the cube here. Okay, and this, you know, one of the more fun maps, because you can see the kitchen here is like some sort of prison facility. Yeah, and you know, the like this one is like one of my favorites. You know, get this resort. You know, this lighthouse. Go up the stairs. Not even a mid-slide. You know. Yeah, I guess you know when I would explain it, like the blue walls like represent the boundaries. Basically, the boundaries of, you know, it's supposed to be in this area. You just don't know where. You just know that it's within the blue boundaries, like the blue borders. And I think that the light was in. Yeah, it was here. You know, like quite a fun game to find it. You know, this is a museum, I guess. You know, it's like quite a fun. You know, you can find it here, like the red cube. You know, but you got some other. You know. Ah, yeah. Like I didn't count this as a level. You know, as a map. But it's quite fun because you know this is how you find it, and then you get these mines. You go inside. You know what you found the cube here. Okay, so this is a train station which I would remake in my latest game. So remember this place, like you know, going through it all very quickly. Yeah, I like this. Like I like this map as well. You know, it's so. Well, you know, it's so simple. It's like nothing complicated. The later games it's going to get far more complicated. I don't I don't know why it's disappearing. I really don't know. Um, you know, it's quite funny. I don't even remember where the cube was. Like, so you got this farmhouse here. Um, it's somewhere here. Yeah, it's there. So I got the crops and everything. Yeah, well, so you got this like island, desert island, or everything. You know, I would call it quite cool. You know, the terrain is quite well made. You know, so I feel like it's actually not some blocks, but you know, it consists of you know, actual terrain. You know, the interesting part is when I forget where you know I put the cube. Like that's at the point at which it gets interesting. Like you know, now I gotta find it myself, even though I made the game. Because by that logic, I get to play the game itself, right? Well, where is it, man? Come on. Okay, it's here. Okay, so like you get this convenience store, so you get all these things here. You know, I made quite, you know, went quite the trouble to make all of this. Like these looks like bombs. Like I don't even know what it was supposed to be. Oh, oh yeah. So the cube is here. It was quite hard, yeah, to find. No, I forgot where it was. Also, where is it? Uh, I think it was behind that building. I don't even remember. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so here you got the last map. You're in some kitchen or something like that. It's like very blocky, chunky house. Is it here? No, it's not. Okay, well, it's like. Oh yeah, got here. Well, you know, we're also going to showcase you the stairs above. So we got this room here, got this room here, got. Yeah, you might think that it's that. It's not. This is bedroom. You can. You know, this is basically for this game. You know, this is the first part of the first three games. I guess you know you find yourself in, you know, this like facility. You know, like quite fun mental. You know, it's like you met some mental guy going through all these maps as if you know they got some meaning. They don't. Alright, I'm going to join the next game very quickly. Yeah, it's going, as I said, you know, it's part of the trilogy, so I'm going to play the second game of the trilogy. Alright, alright, so, like this is the second game, and I think what you can immediately notice is how much more detailed it is. It's like, look at the walls, look at the pillars, look at the characters, so look at the tables. I don't want to like force your attention onto everything. As a game developer, like you naturally see these things, like the cars that are outside. So, okay, so you just continue, and then you're on the ship. Like I made a lot of ships. I'm quite surprised about how many ships I have made. But like this is one of the most modern ones. It's like quite fun. So you go through here, found it here. So you got in this parking lot, got all these cars here, and yeah, I think you can see the development of my style. In terms of building. I made this like 3-4 years ago. You got this room, like this cool room. If I'm mistaken, like they're supposed to be playing a song as well, but I guess you can't hear it. Yeah, okay, well either way. Yeah, alright, so you go here. Okay, so you're in this cafeteria right now. Yeah, you got all these posters. I think I overdid it with the posters, like there are too many. Okay, so and it's supposed to be here. So you're in the bathrooms right now. Well, nothing really that interesting. Just go here. You're in this lobby. Presumably at the hospital. I guess. Where is it? Yeah, it's here. It's like I wouldn't call this. I wouldn't call this by any means perfect. It is what it is. Nothing that complicated. But I think I'm going to divide this into two parts. I got some other games to show. So I guess that's what I'm going to do later on. But right now I'm just going to play through this game. Through here. Yeah, I made a bar here as well. Like I'm running through this in mere seconds, but it took me 6 hours to make every map. It's very difficult. Look at all these rooms here. Got like this. Yeah, you get the cube there. I don't know why it's red. I don't know whether it's supposed to be red. Okay, so I got all this art here. Alright, so continue. So you got this like mysterious map, like where you got to get this golf and go through this. Like you wonder like what is this even supposed to be? You get all of these weird things like pillars going through furniture. It's like why are even the pillars here? Like why are the bricks? So you read like the wall of brick. Oh, wall of fun. Alright. So, okay, well, I guess the red cube was here. Alright, so now you get into this building here. You get quite nice tables, quite nice, must admit, quite nice tables. But either way you go outside, you see this quite nice building. Find this. Okay, and this is one of my favorite maps. It's a classic for me. I call this the octopus garden because you got the octopus inside. Octopus's garden, do not approach or any dangers. Yeah, I love this map. I love the anchors. It's like you wouldn't find this, that many places. But where is the? Okay, so the cube's here. Okay, now you're in this. I don't even know what it would be. Look, you got this room. Everything. Alright, so the cube was here, I forgot about it, then you're in the train with the over-exaggerated lights, should have done something about it, but you see all of these items here, many of them repeat, but okay, you won't find that red cube and it's here. Okay, and you get this monument, I guess that's what you would call it. Right, then, okay, the cube is here, then you're at the beach, and yeah. So, like I guess you don't need to go here, but you got the possibility to do so. With all the fishes. You know, keep in mind this is like my second game of the trilogy, you know, this is not my peak, you know, but you can see how, like, you know, I get better, I guess. Alright, so, I guess you finish up here. And this is the last map. Alright, so you start at the beginning. So, you know, you can play this in a loop. You know, I don't know why you would be interested in doing such a thing, but, you know, it's a possibility. So I guess if there was anything for me left to say is that, you know, I'm going to examine my other games in the next stream. I'm guessing, you know, I don't know when that's going to be. I guess I can also take a look at, you know, some uh, privated games, but either way, well, you know, either way. Maybe you can say what you thought about this, you know, maybe you'd like to play it, you know, just spoiled all the fun, you know, if you looked and watched this video, but, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, I'll see you in the next one, I guess. Thank you everybody for watching. Yeah.